Most travelers doing 2 weeks in Vietnam never make it to Hue. That's really unfortunate because there's so much more to the city than meets the eye. I'm currently in Hue. It's one of my favorite cities in Vietnam actually. It's a bit more low-key than the other cities. It's not like mass tourism, so there's not a lot of tourists here, big group tours like you would see in Hoi An. Hi, I'm Thuy with Travel Eat Vietnam. On my channel, I share travel tips and local insights. I've been to Hue many times, and every time I wish I had stayed longer. This trip I gave myself 3 days, so I can have more time to experience the city without rushing through it. And I'm so glad I did, because I have a much better appreciation for Hue. In this video, I'll share some of my unique experiences and travel tips if you're thinking about visiting Hue. So Hue is a relatively small town, and it's one of the nicest cities to walk around actually. Look at this boardwalk right next to the Perfume River. You don't get cars or bikes on here, you just get to walk freely and enjoy the space. So I'm having a drink at Les Cirque on the rooftop, and this is the Perfume River here. And yeah, the evening is quite nice up here. The weather is just really nice right now. This is probably one of the best times to come to Hue. So it's not crowded, as you can see, because it's not peak tourist season. Yeah, quite nice just sitting up here and watching the view. Just a really chill vibe. I arrived at my hotel in time for check-in. I booked the Le Carré Hotel for 2 nights on Agoda. It's a newly built hotel with 50 rooms. And I chose this hotel for its central location, which is near the walking street, and its price, which was really reasonable. It was about $40 a night. I also thought the design was quite nice, and because it's a new hotel, I wanted to check it out. This is the queen-size bed, and this room doesn't have a view. It looks over to the hotel right next door. So, but it's more spacious than the other two. So if space is important to you, then this is not bad. This is the closet here with the 2 drawers, and this is the bathroom, which is very spacious considering this is a lower category. Nice shower, conditioner, and bath gel. One of the foods I always have in Hue are their rice cakes. They're more like a snack or an appetizer than a meal, and there's many different types. But here I ordered the steamed rice rolls with shrimp. The rice sheets are extremely thin, like paper, and inside there's steamed shrimp topped with shrimp floss, and you dip it in this fish sauce that comes with garlic and chilies. This is Bun Beo. It's steamed rice cakes that comes in these small saucers, normally served in a platter like this. About 8 to 10 small dishes. What I like most about this dish is the pork rind. It adds a nice crunch and contrasting flavor. Later in the evening, I went to check out the walking street, which is around the corner of where I was staying. This area used to be called the backpacker area because it's where all the hostels and services for tourists were concentrated. Now it's converted to a walking street, and it's closed to traffic on the weekends, Friday to Sunday, from 6 to midnight. There's a lot of bars, restaurants, cafes, and souvenir shops in this area, so it's very convenient for tourists. One thing though, it gets really loud on the weekends, with music blasting from every bar. I'm so exhausted,
And this is the last thing that I expect to happen in a way. Sleeping in a freaking nightclub, basically. Anyway, I'm changing hotels tomorrow because there's just no way I can sleep through 2 nights of this. I'm just really surprised that people don't make as much a big deal about this in the reviews. Because if I had read consistent reviews about how noisy it is, I would not have booked here. Anyway, I guess you just have to experience it to learn. Experience it to know.
Since I couldn't sleep anyway, I decided to look for a hotel immediately for the next day, and thank goodness there were rooms available at other hotels. So I chose the TTC Imperial Hotel, which is basically around the corner from this hotel. It's further back from the main road and the walking street, so there shouldn't be any noise issues. It's unfortunate that I had to change hotels because the only problem I had with this place is the street noise. I mean, look at this pool overlooking the Perfume River. Breakfast is included in the room rate, so as you can see, it's a pretty small setup. But it does have a selection of Vietnamese and Western food options. I set out early in the morning to visit the Imperial City. It's one of the must-see attractions in Hue. The best time to visit is in the morning before the heat sets in. And if you're there by 8, you can catch a reenactment of the Nguyen Dynasty's changing of the guard ritual.
Chương trình tái hiện lễ đội gác xin phép được bắt đầu.
The Imperial City was built in the 1800s during the Nguyen Dynasty, Vietnam's last royal family. It's one of the most impressive historical sites in Hue, if not all of Vietnam. The complex itself is enormous, basically a walled city of the royal households within the city, covering 520 hectares. You can easily spend 34 hours visiting the palaces, temples, and gardens. If you're a history and architecture enthusiast, I recommend you hire a guide or join a tour to better appreciate the complexity of this vast compound. One of the most striking buildings is the Kien Trung Palace. You can see it's a fusion of traditional Asian with ornate European architectural style. Inside is an exhibit where you can see the emperor's palanquin and other artifacts from the Nguyen Dynasty. Right afterwards, I walked nearby to the pier on the Perfume River to board the Hueritage boat for an hour cruise. This is a relatively new service. It's a culinary-themed cruise with different set menus for each departure. The boat itself seats up to about 20 guests, so it's quite small. I thought the interior was beautifully designed. They've put a lot of details into the design of this boat, taking elements from the royal motifs and incorporating local art like the trukji, a paper art form from Hue. The food is not your typical traditional Hue food. It's a modern interpretation of it. I recommend that you've tried the traditional Hue food before taking this cruise so you have a better appreciation of this creative cuisine.
This is the Banh Beo.
This cruise costs about $22 per person and it includes a beverage, the meals as specified, and dessert. It's not cheap, but I think for the food quality and service, it was worth the experience. It's time for check-in at the TTC Imperial Hotel. As you can see, the lobby is huge because this hotel is 4 times the size of the previous hotel. This is a deluxe standard room. So as you can see, this is huge. I've got a queen size bed here and a single bed over here. So you can actually have 3 people staying here. So it's a very generous size hotel. And this is their lowest category. Yeah, the stay here has been really nice. The spacious room, the bed is nice and firm, so I really slept well here. Shower pressure, all that has been great, and of course, I got this great view from the 12th floor where I am. After my afternoon rest at the hotel, I set out to look for an early evening snack. This eatery specializes in gum hen. It's one of my favorite Hue dish, but to be honest, it's not for everyone. If you've watched one of Anthony Bourdain's Vietnam episodes, you would have seen that he had the same dish when he was in Hue. Hen is a river clam, and it's one of the ingredients in this complex dish. The base of this dish is either rice or vermicelli noodle. Then it's topped with multiple spices and sauce, like the fermented shrimp sauce, chili oil and chili paste, roasted peanuts, different types of herbs, and of course, the clams and the pork cracklings, which adds a really nice crunch to the dish. Okay, so you have to mix it up first. Trộn đều trước. Cái bỏ nước sau, mình tưởng là bỏ nước vô cái trộn. So this is the clam juice. So you pour it in here like this. So it becomes soupy.
The juice actually dilutes the flavor. So if the dry roots is strong for you, just pour in clam juice. It has ginger, so it just basically neutralizes all the pungent taste. So either way, it's good. Afterwards, I went to the Dong Ba market. This is Hue's largest market, and inside there's a food court. This is a great place to try many of the Hue specialties under one roof. Besides savory foods, the market also has sweet snacks. This here is Jia Hue. The best way to describe it is a sweet soup. This stall here has about 20 varieties of flavors, which you can mix and match. There's jackfruit, the purple taro potato, lotus seed, and different types of cooked beans. You can make your own or just order from the menu. In the evening, I took a cyclo ride around town, and I was amused to see that you can book a cyclo on the Grab Ride app. The city is actually really pretty at night. There's so many things lit up, like the buildings, landmarks, bridge, and the boardwalk, which I think is even more impressive with the lights in the evening. It's a low-key vibe and a popular hangout place for locals. Since there's only so much food I can eat a day, I normally skip the hotel's breakfast and go out to have the local food. This is Bun Bo noodle soup, and it's a popular breakfast item. Even though it's called beef noodle soup, the broth is actually made from beef and pork bone, and it's cooked with lemongrass stalks and has fermented shrimp paste, which gives it the umami taste. Normally it comes with beef shanks with optional pork knuckles and sausage, but I like mine with just the crab meatballs. Another thing I love about this soup is that it's topped with onions and comes with a side of greens. This helps balances out the strong flavor. This morning, I'm setting off on a private half-day cycling excursion, 10 kilometers outside the city. I'm going to be cycling through the countryside and visiting different handicraft villages. We start off with a 30-minute boat ride to get to the first village. This is Sin Village, known for its woodblock folk painting, a tradition that goes back 500 years. What's interesting is that the prints are made on zal paper, which actually comes from tree bark, and the colors come from natural sources like leaves and flowers. Originally made for worship and ceremonies, today they're also popular as souvenirs.
We cycled to the next village, known for its paper flower making. These crafts are passed down through families, but with younger generations less interested in carrying on the tradition, production has slowed to part-time, made on demand. The flowers may look simple to make, but after trying it myself, I realized there's so many steps and details that go into each one. It gave me a much better appreciation for this craft. Near the town of Bao Vin, we stopped at a household making clay figurines of the kitchen god. It's a very labor-intensive craft. The figurines are hand-molded, sun-dried, and baked before they're painted. Every Vietnamese household traditionally has one. It's believed to bring harmony and stability to the home. Demand peaks before Lunar New Year, so I was lucky to visit when they were in full production. And knowing this is a craft that may not exist much longer, I felt really privileged to have seen it firsthand. If you don't have time to visit the handicraft villages, you're in luck. There's the Hue Craft Space, which is right in the center of town, next to the boardwalk. And here they have all types of handicrafts, from the conical hats to the woodblock prints that were shown earlier. One of the great things is that you can actually see artisans creating these handicrafts right on the spot. It's also a great place to pick up souvenirs, since they have everything under one roof. No last day in Hue would be complete without one final bite of Hue's best banh mi. This place is down the street from my hotel, and I swear I could eat this banh mi 3 times a day. They've got more than a dozen ingredients to choose from, so you can make your own sandwich or just point to the items you want. As you can see on the menu, the banh mi here is so cheap. If you just get one ingredient, it's just 15,000 dong, and the special one is only 25,000 dong. They've got some really unusual ingredients that I haven't seen in a banh mi, like the thit siu. That's basically pork belly, braised in a savory sweet sauce. This is normally eaten with rice, and I didn't know that you could eat this with a banh mi. Normally, I order thit siu and thit nu, the grilled pork. Their homemade mayo spread is also amazing. And of course, it comes with the herbs. So definitely, if you come to Hue, you need to come to this banh mi place. I've approached the end of my stay, and my next destination is Da Nang. There's the option of going by road transport, which is about 2 to 3 hours, depending on whether it's through the tunnel or Hai Van Pass, or by train, which takes 4 hours. If you're looking to experience train travel in Vietnam but have limited time, then I recommend you try this route from Hue to Da Nang or vice versa. It's only 4 hours and you get the scenic views along Hai Van Pass. There's 2 types of trains on this route. One is the SE train that goes from Hanoi to Saigon. The other is the HD train, which is the Heritage train. I've been on both, so I'll tell you the difference between the two. The SE train has more time slots and is usually more crowded because it's the north to south route. They have different seat options. I chose the seat facing forward instead of the 4 seats facing each other. The legroom is spacious and the seat is comfortable. There's also the sleeper carriages with 4 to 6 bed options. The HD train has 2 daily departures, one in the morning and the other in the afternoon, the more popular option. The Heritage train is designed for tourists going on the Hue Da Nang route, so it tends to be less crowded. There's a carriage that's specifically designed with a cultural theme, with live traditional music performance and specialty foods like the Hue rice cakes. The Heritage train includes a stop at Lang Ko Station, where you can get out and take pictures of the scenic view. Both types of trains have soft seats and air conditioning, so I didn't see a big difference in terms of comfort. The views are pretty spectacular, with the train traveling through rural landscapes, forests, and along the edge of the mountain on Hai Van Pass. The popular UK Top Gear show called it one of the best coastal roads in the world. On a sunny day, the colors are striking. The forest is bright green and the sea is a deep aquamarine. On a rainy day, there's not much of a view. Make sure you check the weather forecast in advance if the view is important to you. Regardless of the weather, Train travel in Vietnam is an experience in itself. If you're planning to book the train tickets yourself, you can go to the Vietnam Railway official website. The link is in the description. Make sure you check that the page looks like this. There's a lot of third-party booking sites that look like they're the official site. It's a fairly easy booking process. The information and price is clear. If you want a view of the coastline, then book a seat on the left side of the carriage, next to the window on the route from Hue to Da Nang. From Da Nang, it's the opposite, seats on the right side. There are also different categories of seats. This carriage here is a VIP carriage, meaning more space and comfort. As you can see, the price is nearly double. Once your payment is confirmed, you'll receive your boarding pass by email, or you can download the link from the site. 3 days gave me enough time to explore beyond the city highlights, but I know there's still a lot more to experience, which means another trip back in the near future. If you're visiting Hue for the first time and want to make the most of your time there, I have listed some tour recommendations in the description below. There's also other experiences that I didn't cover in the video, so it's worth browsing through a travel app like Get Your Guide when you're doing your travel planning. If you found the video helpful, please drop me a like and make sure to subscribe for more Vietnam travel tips. And if you have any questions about Hue or any other parts of Vietnam, drop them in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.